From this moment on, you will now be known as Sharkbait.
Sharkbait! Ooh-ha-ha!
Welcome, brother Sharkbait.
Sharkbait! Ooh-ha-ha!
Enough of the Sharkbait.
Sharkbait! Ooh, but...
What's up, everybody? This is D checking in with another Sunday swim with an update as on the fresh/saltwater side. Now, you may be like, yo, D, this looks like freshwater. Yes and no. For those of you that have been following, I have been crossbreeding a few different pairs of Molly in pure reef water taken from the frag tank over there. And I have been rewarded with quite a few fry. And as you can probably see, they have been progressing nicely. Let's get a top shot. I have quite a few sail fins, quite a few marbles, but it seems like in the last brood I got mostly marbles. If I can see one of the latest ones that are outside of the trap here. Yeah, mostly marbles. There's a few newbies, and yes, I gotta wipe my glass, don't break my chops, but they're doing good. I'm actually planning on replacing the little tanks with a larger system. I'm waiting for a carbon pad because I'm going to build a filtration into it so that they can be more free swimming. The parents, usually I expect the parents to nibble on a few of the fry, and they may have, but I haven't seen that as so much as a problem. As you can see, quite a few of these guys are swimming with the parents. The parents are chilling, but you see they get a little aggressive. So I am building a system and where I will be able to separate them without having this cage in the tank, which takes up a lot of space. Now they're looking pretty good. I've been feeding them a mixture of New Life Spectrum, which I really like. The very, very small pellets. This isn't New Life Spectra. This is actually, if I could do it with one hand, let me see what my Kung Fu grip is. Hold on a second. There we go. Put that down. This is actually a mixture of dried mysis, which is really, really small in kind of a powdered form, which is good because as the fry get larger, they've been migrating over to the mysis, and it's putting some growth on them. As you can see, these guys are growing much faster than those guys outside there, because I've been feeding these the mysis, and I've been feeding these the fry powder and some Daphnia from time to time, and they're doing pretty good. And really good news, let me drop a few in there now. They probably think they're feeding. The good thing about the mysis is, and this isn't by Spectra, just if anybody's asking how do I get Spectra, I'm using the container because I have quite a few of these containers for the pellets, and when they run empty I use it for the dried food because it keeps the dry food dry and fresh for a longer period of time. And they've been really loving it. As you can see, you're doing pretty well. It's small enough for this size fish to swallow without having a hard time, and it puts quite a bit of growth on them, so even more reason to move them up to a larger tank. I'm going to get rid of these two smaller tanks and move them into one larger system where the salinity and everything will be a lot stabler. More or less, all I do is I take the water from the frag tank, I take that and I move it to this tank when I do the water change, and this water I take and I dump. So it's keeping them at the same levels between the two tanks. Now, if you're wondering about the tank next to it, I have to thank my buddy Gene from the Aquarium Society, which breeds these beautiful fish, and I've been trying to get them to breed here. I have not been successful. So Gene, if you're watching, everything is growing in the tank, and let's take a look at my female. It's really big. If I have two of them that are really swollen, she'll come out because she'll think I'm feeding them if I go here. Really large, like it's carrying eggs, but not breeding, and it's probably A, because I have too much water in here, and B, because I have a lot of different species of fish in there. So they're my zebra Daniels down there, if you can see them, and they're really huge. Really huge, but they have not even looked at these colored kin of theirs. And even this one, I may have a female out of these smaller ones that's starting to get bigger. If you look at this yellow one there. So I'm going to probably just move this tank over and get rid of the beta project. My spawning female died, which pissed me off, and I got another female. Actually, that's starting to look actually like a male. See why you don't go to Petco? That actually looks like another male. So I'm going to move these guys into one of the main tanks, and no sense in this here unless I decide to separate these, which are going to be reef starter fish. So that's the status of that. And there's another one of my little marble guys. I can't wait for these guys to get bigger and see what their true colors are. Okay, they're getting aggressive because they think I'm feeding them, so let me drop a few bits in there for the parents. Again, as you can see, it's quite powdery, which is good for the fry because the fry can eat it, and the larger fish can eat it, so it cuts the aggression a lot. You can see the little one back there, really cool. Let me see if I can focus. This one is a beautiful white mollies. I've really gotten really into the mollies, man. Just the ability, and this one may be carrying again actually. Looks kind of plump. I think she's carrying again. They are really ready to breed. They acclimate to the full salt. This salinity is about 1.25 right now, which is really high. So I can readily add them to a reef tank with no problems. And they're breeding quite readily in this tank without any issues. The fish are feeding well. And simple water changes. I just have a basic box filter in the back, sponge, and doing water changes regularly. And I have the chaetomorpha in there for the babies to chill out in. So I thought that makes for a good environment for them to feel safe. But I'm gonna make their home much nicer and much easier to clean. I see I have the box here just in case. It doesn't take up as much of the tank. But I'm contemplating just building something that would just fit this whole area out of the glass. I'm not a multi-tank guy. I don't like to have a lot of tanks, so looking at 1, 2, 3 tanks kind of bothers me. So we'll see how we play out with that. I got my LED shining, which is great for the freshwater. Not the whole lot greatest for the Chaeto, but it's growing. Only problem with this light, which drives me nuts, is one of these touch lights, which doesn't work well with timers. You know, you gotta touch it, doesn't have a switch, so I gotta replace that. I wish I had the same thing, but with the automatic on. I may open this up and solder it so that it's just on, and I can control it with a timer. And you can see I siliconed a piece of glass to this tank here. Actually, that's a good point. I don't have silicone on this tank. Ooh, I didn't notice that. Yeah, a good point. I didn't notice. I siliconed a piece of glass to this tank so that I could attach this light to it. And I didn't realize I don't have anything on that tank, so I'll do that this afternoon. Ooh, see why it's good to make videos? You don't notice things. And that's my update. So, keeping it freshwater and saltwater for all my freshwater people that feel neglected. Freshwater people are awesome. Shout out to all my freshwater peeps. My saltwater people are awesome. Shout out to all my saltwater peeps. And until next time, this is D. If you got any questions, post them below. I love to hear from you guys. Not a professional. Just love to keep fish, man. It's all about the fishes. This guy looks like I owe him money or something. What are you staring at me for? It's a Brooklyn thing. Alright, peeps. Till next time, click that subscribe button. And I'm out. Have a happy Memorial Day, everybody. See ya!